What is that one thing you love so much you could do it every day and always want to do it more? Do you struggle to find balance enjoying the hobby you are passionate about and taking care of the responsibilities and relationships you value in your life? Today's episode will consider how to work towards that balance. Welcome to Claim to Game, the podcast helping busy people master tabletop role-playing games one game at a time. I'm Clint.scheirer. I've been an educator for over 12 years and have helped gamers of all levels quickly grasp tabletop RPGs so they can enjoy playing them to the fullest. Stay tuned so that you can make your claim to game. Hello and welcome back to episode 10, season 1 of Claim to Game, a predominantly educational fun podcast in which I am daring to coin the word funjucational. It's like if you could hold the sun in the palm of your hands like a chocolate chip cookie, without being burned from the heat or blinded by the light, revved up like a deuce, another runner in the night. Today, my wife and I have a rule surrounding my tabletop gaming hobby. We have a few rules, but this one in particular helps me keep balance between my hobby and my responsibilities and relationships. It keeps me from becoming blinded by the delightful light of playing tabletop role-playing games like a mosquito entranced by the light of a bug zapper, only to be burned up and incinerated, consumed by the inability to see or think about anything else but my obsession. What is this one rule? Clint only schedules, at most, one tabletop role-playing game with friends per month. Now, some of you may hear this rule and shudder, thinking, he only gets to game just one day a month. How does he survive? Or you are thinking the other end of the spectrum and instead hear this rule and think, that lucky bastard. I wish I could get a game at least once a year. Regardless of your thoughts, remember, everyone's balance between gaming and life will look a little different. I'm going to lay out my journey towards balance, but with the disclaimer, I do not hold balance perfectly. There are many times I want to buck against my golden rule, but reminding myself why it's important to create this boundary helps pull me back to it time and again. Do you know what I want to do every time I read, see, or hear about a new tabletop RPG? I want to play it. I want to devour the contents of the rulebook, listen to an actual play podcast or a YouTube channel to show me the ropes, and then as soon as I can, I reach out to anyone I think might be interested and try to organize a group to play this newfound game. This newfound obsession. I call this obsession game creep. It starts with a game, then a few more games, then too many games to handle, and here's how it happens. Organizing and playing a game can be a three-ring circus. Most games I try to run or organize, I attempt to get 3 to 5 players, not including me as the GM. Everyone's personal schedules are just slightly different, and typically calendars fill up quickly, so when scheduling a new tabletop RPG exploit, I'm often booking a day and time at least a month, if not 2, in advance. But in crawls game creep. At one point in time, I was running a monthly Pathfinder 2e campaign, which I loved. That group then had some cancellations and missed a month or two. So, to play more regularly, I started another Pathfinder 2e group to fill in the gap of the other group not meeting. But then, the previous group decided to start back up and running. And in the meantime, like a dog sensing additional squirrels, I sniffed out some more one-shot focused games. Goblin Quest, anyone? Shared the concept with some friends who were also excited about it, and then impulsively committed to bringing together another group of gamers to just jumpstart these friends into the hobby through the one-shots that I'd found. Game creep and schedule overload is what occurred for me when there was inconsistency with my groups and when I failed to keep my golden rule. I so badly wanted others to enjoy and get into tabletop role-playing games. I find myself saying yes when maybe, okay, not maybe, I should definitely be saying, this sounds fun, but not right now. What started out as one game once a month ends up multiplying into 3 to 4 games throughout the month. My gaming groups are like breeding rabbits. My intention is I just want a game. And when cancellation happens, I try to fill the void. My schedule of family events, my faith community, and other commitments cannot handle this load. I start to realize my free nights, not occupied by work, are now filled only with gaming. I spend less time with my family and non gaming friends. I become exhausted, stressed, hurried, and now the hobby and passion of tabletop RPGs becomes less fun. And games should be, at their essence, fun. Hey, quick pause on the episode. Have you felt life is too crazy busy that the tabletop role playing games you've always wanted to learn and play are passing you by? The Claim to Game podcast has one mission: helping busy people master tabletop role playing games one game at a time. If you are enjoying what you are hearing, please share the Claim to Game podcast with others. Share it with at least one other person you know who listens to podcasts and who could benefit from what the show has to offer. This helps grow the show, spreads the message, and helps others learn new tabletop role-playing games. Remember to share the show once you finish listening today. Thanks, and now back to the episode. If you too experience game creep or any other type of hobby creep because you share the overextending personality type with me, I've got 2 questions you can ask yourself to help you keep on course and find your manageable sweet spot. Question number 1: what is your golden rule? How often do you want to play where you can reasonably ensure other commitments aren't falling by the wayside? For me, 1 scheduled game time per month is my limit, my golden rule. I've learned this through trial and error, feedback from my wife and others in my life whose opinions genuinely matter to me. Gaming and all other life activities go better for me when I hold to this structure. This boundary gives me the freedom to enjoy everything else more fully. Now, as we all know, inevitably, life brings changes. Kids grow older, careers may shift or change, friends move into our lives and out of our lives either by physical proximity or due to relationships changing. As life changes, you can always reevaluate your golden rule. Maybe one day 2 games a month will work for me. Maybe a once a week tabletop RPG campaign is in my future. Or maybe not. Both you and I can hold to our golden rules loosely, allowing them to be our target for a more balanced way to live and game. Question number 2. If I say yes to this, what am I saying no to? I like this question a lot. Asking this is not implying you are making a right or wrong decision by saying yes or no to whatever you are considering to spend your time on. It is simply asking me, Clint, to slow down and consider the economy of time that I have available. If I say yes to, for example, running a monthly Pathfinder 2e game on one predetermined Monday night, then I am saying no to hanging out with other friends and family one Monday every month. For me, that's okay. I have dedicated other Monday nights to do this, so I can afford to take one Monday night and allocate it to this game that I am passionate about playing and running for others who are also excited and passionate about playing it with me. Now, let me ask this question again, but keep in mind I've already said yes to a monthly game taking up one Monday night a month. This time, there's another group who wants to play D&D once a month, this time on Thursdays. If I say yes to this, what am I saying no to? I'm saying no to another night during the month where I am not spending time with other friends or family. That Thursday could end up being the same week as the one Monday a month the other group committed to. Now, there's a week during the month where I've taken up 2 nights out of the equation, making me more scarce and less connected to the people closest to me in my life, which in my situation is my family, not necessarily the gaming group. Though I have to say I play with some pretty cool cats. Is it wrong for me to commit to the one Thursday a month in addition to the one Monday a month? No, not necessarily. But in light of my trial and error, along with my golden rule, it would not be wise for me, Clint, to say yes to this extra game based on the strain it puts on my more immediate relationships. So, based on my experience, my current golden rule, and keeping my closest relationships the priority, I would likely need to decline the second request to the game. I could always change course if the Monday group decided to no longer play or disband, but until this, I would not be able to commit to the Thursday group. Now, you may be saying to yourself, but Clint, my closest relationships are the people that I game with. They are one and the same. That's awesome. Then likely you will have a different golden rule than I do. You'll be more comfortable playing more because you are killing two birds with one stone by gaming and maintaining those closest relationships. I'll take these questions one step further, and I'll make it this time even more real and more close to home for me. Launching the Claim to Game podcast is a long time dream of mine. This project is related to gaming, but I could count it as a separate commitment, a separate passion. The golden rule I set with my spouse for podcasting based on my other relationships and responsibilities was I would release no more than one episode every 2 weeks. A goal of mine was to see the CTG podcast become a weekly podcast. I wanted this to happen sooner rather than later. I changed my golden rule, but did not first ask myself the question, if I say yes to changing my golden rule to weekly from bi-weekly, what am I saying no to? I learned a few things. First off, for anyone who is a podcaster with a weekly podcast, hats off to you. It is a lot of work to ensure you are putting out episodes on a weekly basis without losing the quality of your work. Second, I learned that by saying yes to weekly releases, I was saying no to at least 2 to 3 more nights a week after my day job doing nothing but podcast research, recording, editing, post-production work, and more. And after several weeks of testing this new way of podcasting, I had to admit to myself the hard truth. I'm not yet ready to commit to releasing every single week without losing the quality of my episodes and losing the quality of time needed for my friends and family. So, how am I moving forward? I'm not letting perfection get in the way of good quality work for the CTG. I'm rewording my golden rule to include opportunity for growth while at the same time giving me the leniency to take care of those people, relationships, and responsibilities closest to me. Here we go. Here's my new golden rule. I will release 1 to 2 episodes every 2 weeks for the CTG podcast. This allows for me to hit that weekly stride when possible and to allow me to meet life on life's terms. This can all be summed up by saying I'm allowing myself to find balance. In summary, to keep balance between gaming and life, ask yourself 2 questions. What is your golden rule? And if I say yes to this, what am I saying no to? Your answers may be different than mine, but in the end, when you answer these questions truthfully and clearly, you'll be better off in both gaming and in your life. Join us next time where we will continue our quest, Claiming Goblin Quest. Can you believe it? I was actually able to convince 3 other human beings to play this game with me. That's right, the next episode is an actual play of Goblin Quest the RPG with 4 players, lots of goblins, and a whole lot of laughs. If you liked what you heard today, please pass on your thanks by leaving a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And until the next time we make our claim to game, one game at a time.